with Dr. Anita and Dr. Biggett. I've got two doctors today. Find your own voice, lead from within. Over to you, Dr. Biggett. Please introduce yourself to our audience. We have a special guest today, Dr. Anita, and that's why I need her to introduce herself last so she can go deep and explain what she does.
Thank you, Numsa, and thank you, everyone. It's a beautiful day and an honor to be here. Let me ask you one thing. Who do you really think you are? Who do you think you are? One times I read a collection of little cards, and the first card says, "What is your name? Where are you coming from? What are you here for?" And then in the back of the card, it says, "Think about that." And the last question is who you are. What's your name? Where are you coming from? What are you here for? Who are you? And it says, think about that from time to time and think deeply. So who do you think you are? And why do you think it's matter? Who do you think who you really are? Well, we're going to explore that in this talk here with our special guest and really amazing author and poet, Dr. Anita. But, as a grief transformation coach, I discovered that understanding this can make a whole lot of difference in allowing us to be able to live in a beautiful, wonderful peace of mind and accomplishing what it is that you love to do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Biggett. So today we have our special guest, Dr. Anita. She's a poetry as a poetryist, as Dr. Biggett has explained, and she's a metaphysist. And she is also an author of You. That's the reason why she's here for us. Basically, today's talk show is different. We're just gonna be going deep, understanding her book, and basically tapping into that book instead of and then tapping into us as well. So we're gonna do both, just trying to understand. So, Dr. Anita, could you please introduce your audience? Um, and tell them who you are and what you do, and also tell them where to find you, and then we're going to remind them later as well.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, beautiful sisters. Well, first of all, that there is a universe in heaven. There's also a universe on earth, and it's YOU, your own universe. I'm Anita. Hi. Oh, hey, Jackie. I'm Anita. Thank you, sis, for coming in. We have a guest here. I'm Anita, and first and foremost, I am a mom of beautiful twin daughters. I am a mom of handsome, beautiful sons-in-law, and I'm a grandma of beautiful, precious five, first and foremost. Once we get into that, my creed is God first, family second, and I organize everything else after that. So after the God first and the family second, I am a metaphysical religious pluralist. I have my doctorate in metaphysical studies, which I have, or metaphysical science, which I've embraced since the 80s, since the early 80s. I'm a numerologist. I'm an energy gal. I believe that everything is energy. Nothing rests. And I do follow the 7 universal laws and even the disciplines of the Kabbalah and the teachings of the universal laws. I am the creator of, and this I am. It's a little bit uncomfortable for me. Uh, the U has been created. The research began in 2015, and then ultimately it was published the journal and the reference guide, because you is mainly a reference guide. It's not like a novel to sit. It's something to pick up that you can have on your counter, on your tabletop, or in your bedroom. It's an 8.5 by 11, so it's a little big to fit in your purse, but it's just something to refer to when you're having those issues in the tissue and you want that well to get into that cell. And we're going metaphysically deeper. We're going deeper because that's what metaphysics is. Metaphysics is merely going beyond the physical, going beyond what we actually can see. Along with being a mom and a grandmom, I guess, yes, I'm an international spoken word poet. That's another love of mine. And I also am a Michigan unemployment uh, uh, appeals advocate, and what I represent unemployed workers at hearings, prepare them, consult with them, and just get all that for them to help them get their unemployment benefits. I've been doing that since 2004, and basically every single thing that I do, Oneness and Wisdom. I'm a global chair to Oneness and Wisdom All Ladies League. Dr. Harbina Aurora, the founding visionary. I call her visionary. The Empowerment Through Spoken Word Poetry Tap Into You Foundation. That was established in 2018, and it is coming upward. And also the founder of the Tap Into You movement. It's all about tapping into you. Created the Tap Into You treasure map experience for both adults and children. And who we are, like Dr. Burgess said, who are we? I consider myself the present. I consider myself the present, an ancestor of before, and the future ancestors that's coming tomorrow. So that's basically Anita. That's who I am. That's an easy peasy, nice and breezy kind of gal. And what you see is what you get. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. Dr. Bigot, do you want to ask any questions?
There you go. So, so yes, definitely. My first questions. I love your book. This is the with me. This is the second time we discuss the book, and I just like you said, it is a reference, but it is also I personally would say because for me personally, reference is kind of like one of those you put on the shelf kind of thing. You get it and then you put on the shelf and so forth. But when I look at your book, I'm like, yes, it's not exactly a novel that you want to sit there and read and read and read and at the same times having a kind of maybe not read every words, but kind of even when you just skim through the whole topic and have a little bit of that way you can understand on what the book's saying, and then visit sections when you need it. That is something that is for me is the book beautiful about. And at the same times, it's the book is not like you said, it's not like every other book out there. It is quite unique, I suppose, like the way we all meant to be. But what are my questions would be, the first is would what brought you to writing this book? What brought you to write this book?
Sure. Let's see. What brought me to writing the book? As I had mentioned, and yes, ma'am, Jackie, we get a sign. Thank you, sis. I'm just responding to her post there. What got me to writing the book is it's a journey. That's the only thing I can say is a journey. And it's been a journey since the 80s. I had started, like I said, I had started doing some research regarding chakras and energy because I love it. You know what I mean? And that's one reason why I had said a reference, because and you're right. I do have some reference material on my bookshelf. Those things that I'm really interested in, I tend to refer to that reference book on on a daily basis. It's just part of my uh, activities of daily living, because I refer to it so much because it's so close to me. I just started writing about, especially after I obtained my bachelor of metaphysical science, and just the different information that I obtained, and correlating the information and then gathering. I had no idea in 2015 that I wanted to publish a book called You, Your Own Universe, didn't come up until last year. So I was just, because it's my love, I do research. I research, just not to necessarily teach the information, although I'm happy to. I love to teach. That's another thing. I love to teach. I really gathered the information for me, for my knowledge, because I've always wanted to know, how do we really connect with the universe? How do we can say God, universe, Allah, Yahweh, the creator, higher self, the source. How do we really connect? And I've always, ever since I've been a child, that led me to different studying different religious ideology. And it was in the 80s when I was invited to a service, a metaphysical service, that when the sister, Reverend Argentina Glasgow, I'll never forget it, and she was up there and she shared her message, and it was all about going with it. It ain't nothing to do with the outside, and you go within. And when they did the meditation, because I hadn't even heard of meditation at that time, I knew that I was home. So at that time, I just started, just because it's my love, because it's something that I really want to know. I want to know beyond. I've always been one of those, the beyond. It's like David King, which he's one of my favorite poets, King David, when he said, we have dominion over the sky and the birds, the mental. We have dominion over all of that. And I really believe that. So for me to keep going outside, looking outside to find out what's in here, that, it was confusing to me. So I had to step back and say, okay, I need to find out for me. One, I need to start beginning to learn how to trust my intuition, because we are external data driven. We are. I mean, just like I mentioned, the Tap Into You treasure map. Tap Into You treasure map is very similar to vision board. Only my thing is, we're not going outside ourselves to get magazines to put on a board someone else's reality. We're creating our own prayer portion by going inside and drawing what questions that we have. It's a, like I said, it's an experience. Like I may say, okay, what is your color of happiness? You just draw on a piece of paper your color of happiness. What did you like to do as a child? You take your crayons, because it's with paper and crayons, and you draw. And you don't have to be an artist. But the thing is that we're coming from the inside out, not taking something from the outside and putting and creating that. So I'm just an advocate. I'm an advocate of tapping into you, TAP, the number N, the number 2, the letter U, tap into you, tapping into so we're created in the image of the Almighty. We're not the skin, not the glove that we don, but the spirit. We have the essence of the universal. I call it unipersonal, because we're personal energy, universal energy. And I hope I'm not talking too much. Please stop me if I do, because I can go on. Because like I said, this is a passion of mine. We are perfect within our imperfection. We are human and divine. And that's part of this book too, is just to say, hey, get an understanding of who we are. And it doesn't have to be so heavy duty. We concentrate so much on our flaws, on our limitations, that we've gotten to the point where we've come so imbalanced. Universe is balanced. We're so busy, we're so into the humanness of us that we've left the divine behind. And now this is the time of the divine feminine, because we have masculine and feminine energy within us. So now it's time to bring that divineness in us, that we can really think on it and shout it to the rooftop. I would keep that like as a secret, because I would think, even with metaphysics, they say, oh Lord, that these people think they're God, and this is a cult, and this and that. We're born sinners, not worthy, and this and that. Well, that's not for me is the truth. You know what I mean? That's just something we were taught, and we embraced it. my thing is that we've got to come now to start and this is the time, this is the time, the universal energy. It's time for us to start really recognizing we are responsible for who we have and what we are, which is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, because that means that okay, energy cannot be created or destroyed, but doggone it, I can transform that rascal. And that's beauty, that's liberating to know that, okay, I can do this. So your own universe, that's exactly what that means. You have a universe inside. I call the chakras galaxies. The stars are cells, and in between our this formed molecular matter of our anatomy, we have pure spirit, and that's the essence of you. Okay. Okay.
Okay, Jackie, this is all exciting. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. I love it when you say that we have our own galaxy, our own universe, our own stars, and everything. If someone who is watching you right now, they will be like, but Jackie, I'm going through challenging times. How do I create my own galaxy? How do I basically tap into your own universe, my own universe? Because everything, when I normally reading a book, it takes me, I, I read your book, it took me one day. Basically it's all exciting. I was reading it, I didn't scan read, I was just reading, getting excited, and then it go finish. I was like, oh, is there more? So
Oh,
I've
that's
got to go back again. So what I'm basically right now, there will be someone that is, for me, basically what you're saying, connecting to your own galaxy, your own universe, and that everything is all about energy and everything. I actually relate to you because before, actually, I used to go to church. I read the Bible, I go to church, and when the pastor praying, preaching, I'll be like, hallelujah. When I have a problem, I'll go to pastor and expect them to be the one that are praying for me, until I actually started to understand that it is me that has to create this good energy, but I can get help. And at the same time, I need to create this myself. I started searching within myself. And somebody might be watching. I know you are an expert in this. Somebody might be watching and say, but Jackie, I'm going through tough times. I've tried to connect it to create my own universe. I've tried to connect with God, whatever, the higher power, the mighty. I've tried to speak to the universe and nothing is working. So how can you advise them your own experience? Because I can see that you are really, really passionate, and like Jackie is saying, she needs this, and there are some people who really, really need this, to hear this, because we live in our world is fast. We go to work, we don't have time to work on ourselves. We have families, people, we have children, they don't have time for themselves. It's all about picking children to the activities and come home, having a shower, eat, it's time to go to sleep. So how can they create this galaxy that you are describing? I could see the sky, the beautiful, that when you were describing. Please share this with us.
Well, first of all, I just have to say, Jackie answered. I feel the same way. I'm so glad. Bless you. I'm glad God placed you in my life, beautiful sister. I started tapping into me, and I'm loving my journey of loving me first. The first thing I would share is that, okay, one, we're not creating anything. It's already created. The universe, the source creates. We are co-partners, and we can transform, we can change. The second thing, if someone says things are just not going right, this is what's going on, I would say, okay, well, let's talk, because I need to see what's going on. What is your reality compared to, like, it could be something within one of the seven chakras. It can be, and in the book, it also aligns the 10 bodies, the tantric wisdom. So it's not a cookie cutter kind of thing. Well, no, let me take that back. One thing is cookie cutter. We've got to get back into trusting our instinct, our animal instinct, because we're animals in the highest degree. That's the human part of us. And we've got to get back into trusting our intuition. That's the spiritual part of us, that connection with the universe. And the only way that we're going to do that is that we've got to trust that image. Now, that's the only part that I say we've got to go outside in, because I cannot trust anything that's in me that I can't see if I can't trust my image in the mirror. It's not going to happen. I can tell myself all day long, I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust. It's not going to happen. I have to try. I have to look in that mirror and say, you know what? I trust you, girl. I trust you. And then once we're able to trust, then we can go and start tapping into ourselves and doing little bitty exercise. And I always say keep things fun, keep it fun and lively. And because the journey is beautiful. The journey is beautiful. Yes, there are obstacles. We put the obstacles in there. We just learning. Okay, I put that obstacle there. Why? We experience challenges. Okay, my soul is ready for elevation. My soul is ready to move on to that next chapter. That's a beautiful thing. That's nothing to shy away from. That is an absolute blessing once we put our trust in whatever we call higher self, universe, creator. That's another. We got to establish our relationship. I did last year when I first began Global Chair with the Oneness and Wisdom. I was collecting just women. Just and following. You got to follow. If you get an idea to do something, do it. Don't question it. That's intellect. That's intellectual comprehension evaluation. So I got the idea to ask women, "What's your relationship with God?" Well, if I asked 50 women, "What's their relationship with God?" 40 gave me what God meant to them, not their relationship. And that was an eye opener for me, because that's the difference between, as one of the judges who I love very much, Judge Smith, and Mark Twain says, that's the difference between the lightning and the lightning bug. It is very subtle, but Lord have mercy, it's a big difference. You know what I mean? Once we get into our relationship, my relationship with the creator is comforting, cozy, and intimate. My relationship with the creator is we're co-partners. You know what I mean? Before I come on this show, I said, okay, it's thee and me. It's thee and me. It's an everyday kind of, yes, meditation where you set aside and different things like that. But it comes a time when we get to that point where we contemplate, and of course, we're still on that journey, but it's got to come a point that we begin to really, really trust our intuition. You gotta go inside to do that. You gotta trust your relationship with however you want to say it. You know what I mean? Whatever term you want to use, it doesn't matter. It's that trust. And that's our journey, because our journey, yes, we're striving, thriving for success and happiness, joy, peace, because those are different things. And we want all these things for ourselves and our families and our friends. But our main purpose here, number one, is to get back into the knowledge that we are pure energy. We lost it along the way. We've lost it along the way, and now it's time to get back. That's what I was saying earlier. At one point, I got sidetracked. This divine and human, I would keep it to myself because I was afraid. I said, "Oh Lord, people don't talk about me." Because I want to belong. I don't want to be ostracized and talked about and judged and everything. You know what I mean? Who wants that? So I would keep it to myself. Now, today, I show it hey, listen, you are human and divine. I'll shout it on the rooftop, because I'm not saying that I am this and I am. I'm saying, Lord have mercy. The Creator loves us, and we're connected with each other. And that's a beautiful thing. So the first, and as far as time, there's no such thing really as far as time and space. Well, I'm not going to get into that. But every single thing that we want to do that is for us, now let me just put that is for us, We have time for. There's no such thing. I don't have time. It's just called discipline. That's all that's called. Anytime I feel that I don't have enough time for something, all I'm saying is I lack the discipline. That's all. So once I up the game on my discipline, I was just sharing that with my grandson yesterday. I said, even if you just write 5 times at night, whatever, I love my shoe. 5 times, but you make a commitment to do it before you go to bed or something. I said, you do that for 2 weeks. What you're doing is up in the game of your discipline. So that's what we need to do. Not having enough time just means I'm not disciplined. I'm not organized. I need to take control over my sphere of influence instead of letting that sphere control me. That's all.
I love what you say just now. Actually, it I love what you say just now, that when we have things in life that is for us, many times we are in this world, many people, a lot of times in here, like you said earlier, we're here and we're striving and we're fighting, and then it's like everything is against us, but it is actually a lot of times things are here for us, and what you say in there, that it's when we're not doing it, when things are not going the way, and we feel that we don't have time for this and that, it's actually a matter of disciplines. There are other big noun thinkers that says that, I know one at some point, Bob Proctor says that, people say, how do I manage time? He's like, well, you don't manage your time. I mean, we all have 24 hours, so you manage your activity instead of you manage your time. And I just love that. One thing I have questions. So in the book, you talk about the different chakras
Mm-hmm.
have. And would you care about sharing, just for some people that don't quite understand? They're like, oh God, this is also, if they kind of look up at the book, they're like, what, this chakras and all these things, this is sound like esoteric woo. You know what I mean? For some might be that. What is, do you care about explaining what is really chakra and how it influence our life?
Sure, sure. And first, Namsa Claire, thank you so much, sis. When you said you read that book all in one day, that is such a compliment, because yes, it is. Thank you so much.
I'm interested in this, the different chakra as well, because I was like, honestly, I basically, I want to know about how the energy work. I became obsessed in 2016. So
Okay.
I really, really, when I basically read your book, I was like, and I got to work on my voice as well last night, like unblocking my throats. Yeah, so I had to do that last night after reading your book. And SB Leon says hi, Dr. Biget. So yeah,
Yes,
please do explain. I'm interested.
absolutely. I just wanted to thank you because the main part, the main component, I'll say, or the essence of you, I wanted it to be an easy read. That's something I did want. I didn't want a lot of, complex and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Dr. Burgett, it is like esoteric. It just, in a way, that esoteric just means this is information that is supposed to be hidden, and it really isn't. I mean, we just have to become aware of it. Sure. So the chakras, there's 7 major, and I call them the 7 major. Okay, there are. My daughter's calling. I guess it's a. Let me see. There's 7 major chakras, and let me just. I'm sorry. This is my daughter, and I've got. I don't, just make sure it's not an emergency. I apologize, you guys. Please bear with me. That's a mom. I hope you understand. Okay.
Okay, you take the call. Let's just see. We don't want to. I was talking to someone my pastor basically was preaching yesterday. He said there was this woman, their neighbor, and his wife was in church. He just had this intuition of call your neighbor, so she basically called her, And she realized, and this neighbor was her neighbor was like, I'm glad you called. I've just received a call that my husband is got 2 weeks to leave.
Oh,
And so she had to comfort her. And after that, that phone call, her husband did not last 2 weeks, he lasted 4 hours. So I've
okay.
learned yesterday that when somebody calls like a member of your family, you can't say, I'll call them back. You have to make sure that are they safe? Are they okay? And then cut the
Right.
phone.
Well, yeah, because she called once, and I said, okay, I know I'll get with her, once we're
Is she
done.
okay?
Call right back. Well, I text her. I'm sure it is. I text her. Yes. So the chakras. There are 7 major chakras, and there are 21 secondary and 122. I'm sorry, 21 minor and 122 secondary. Now, within these chakras here, and I place these other ones, and I'll go through it. I place another set that's recently within the last maybe 20 years come up, and I put them between the major and the minor. And these are 5 other. Okay, so and that's in the book. I put that in the book as well. The 7 major chakras, we have the first chakra, which is the base or the root. And the chakras are aligned, I call them galaxies. They're aligned along our spine. And the first chakra is closest to the ground. Okay. The base chakra is right at like the ovaries and testes and all that in the gonads for the ovaries and gonads for the men and the women. Okay, that's where the base root chakra is. It is our grounding chakra. It is our security chakra. It's the one that when it's strong, we feel secure in what we're doing. We feel there's that self-confidence. We're assured, especially if you're self-employed kind of thing. And it connects us with Mother Nature. So that's our grounding because we are connected with each other in nature and everything. When that chakra is weakened, then it can mean that we're feeling insecure. I know for me, when my chakra is weak in my root base, I concentrate as a solopreneur. Okay, am I having yeah, okay, yeah. This okay, everything is fine. I'm having issues in my legs because our base root chakra is connected with our musculoskeletal system, specifically our extremities, legs and arms. Okay, so when I'm feeling instances in my legs, I'll ask. I said, "Is there something that I'm fearing as a solopreneur, as someone who's self-sustained? I don't, who am I feeling insecure? Am I fearing how I'm going to pay my my bills? Am I fearing? Am I getting the ideas that I need to bring in revenue?" Okay, that's our first chakra, and all of our chakras create that aura. So let me say that. So like attracts like that. Excuse me, that law of attraction, like attracts like, which is really the main one, is the universal law of cause and effect. For every cause there's an effect. For every effect there's a cause. So our chakras create the energy, or it creates the energy of our reality, of our thought. The main influence of everything is thought. Our content, intent, and interpretation of our thought. That's number one. Nothing happened even before the beginning of time. What in the beginning, it says in the beginning there was the word. What came? Something came before that word. It had to. Words just didn't start popping up. Something came before it. So the base chakra, that's our base root chakra. The next, and it's red in color, red, desire, hate, love, that thing, those emotions. Our next chakra is our sacral. And that's the beautiful color orange. And orange represents the power color. Power is orange, and also optimism, because like I say, everything has vibration. Our sacral is that is connected with our old emotion, that romance, that kind of love. You know what I mean? You notice, like, if we've been hurt or something, someone hurt our feelings, or we're in a relationship, it doesn't feel good. We feel it in our stomach. We feel, that ooh, that nervous energy down there. That's in our sacral area. We don't necessarily feel it up here. We feel it here in our sacral. The base root chakra is also aligned with our soul chakra. Our soul chakra, because these two are in alignment, and our soul chakra is heart over head. We should be thinking, making decisions based heart over head, relying on intuition, because our heart is our truth center. I'm not talking about the layers, because the layers of the heart, that's where you can hold bitterness and unforgiveness and all, scorekeeping and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the truth center, where the Egyptians said, in the core of that heart, just like the earth has several mantles, so does not several, two, three, so does the heart. It's the nucleus of the heart that is our truth center, where we go to get that truth, where that spirit, the image of the spirit rests. That's where we go. So our sacral, yes, our sacral chakra is also our protective negative body. We've been taught that all negative is bad negative. That's not true. Our sacral chakra, like I said, is containment, being able to contain those inharmonious, non-productive negative thought. The protective negative is when you have a red light. Someone says, don't, that's protective. We want to keep that. So that's our sacral. It's a creativity. If we're blocked, not feeling creative, because we're always creative, we're always manifesting. It's just that lot of times we manifest what we don't want. Because, like I said, everything revolves. That's the universal law of vibration. So so we're always manifesting that, and the sacral is the creative, that need to belong. That's where our sacral is too. That's why a lot of us may get into dysfunctional relationships, because we have an innate need to belong. And sometimes we will stay in relationships because we have that innate, and because our protective negative and our sacral may just need to be worked on, need some work within us to strengthen, meaning to love self more. Because anytime there's a weakened a weakened chakra, all it means is, hey, let me up the game on the love for myself. Easy peasy, nice. Keep it simple, sweetheart. I say kiss it. That you don't have to analyze. Okay, let me see them. No, I need to up the game on my love in this area. Okay, so if I'm in a dysfunctional relationship, I need to up the love, the love for me. Okay, how do I up the love? Because that person is showing me that, okay, I'm not loving myself as I should, because then I would be treated much better. I would be treated much better. I wouldn't allow somebody to come into my boundaries like that. And it doesn't have to be a difficult thing. It's just something you say, okay, I'm going to have me some fun to work on. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on this here, so that I can build this. And you don't really have to do anything but vision. I was in a situation where it was not healthy. It was not healthy. It was quite destructive. And when I realized that, because it's never about the other person. We all say, oh, that person, this and that. It's never about that person. Is nothing but a mirror to show us, okay, what I need to work on, because that's our journey. We always need to, to improve on something within ourselves. And I was in that quite destructive relationship. Well, all I did was pray. I prayed and envisioned that rascal was going away, and now he might have went away in a way that hurt me, but that manifestation occurred, and I didn't have to do anything but believe. Once I accepted, I love me more than this. Once I accepted that. And then I went soul deep to letting, to first recognizing, because that can be a bitter pill. Oh, I'm not loving myself. I mean, that's, that can be kind of, I'm not ready to experience that. That's because that's saying, okay, I'm letting myself know something that I don't want to know. This the same as meditation. I didn't meditate for years because I didn't want to know what was in my mind. I didn't want to know. I had to go through the process of saying, you don't like yourself too much because of all that crap that was in my mind. I had to get over that in my sacral. I had to grow on my sacral. I took a 10-year respite, like a whatever you call it, when you go to the woods or something, as far as relationships, because I realized I need to work on me. I need to work. Why am I bringing these people into my life? I got to work on me. Then we have the solar plexus. Our solar plexus is our judgment center. That's our judgment, how I'm thinking. If we're having gut issues, and that's our immune system too, our fiercest protector, those white blood cells and all that. When we're having issues in our digestive system, first thing I do is say, okay, let me think. Let me think. What am I thinking? Okay, let me check my judgment zone here, because let me see if I'm scorekeeping or wrong, thinking things wrong, and am I stepping outside of this unconditional love? Now I got these conditions on this and that. This, I want this person to think like me, because that's in our solar plexus. That's when we recognize, you know what? We all have our own reality. The conflict comes is when I want you to live in my reality and me not live in yours. When I allow someone else to live in their own reality and they allow me to live in my reality, we're living in harmony. It's just one of those, okay, we respectfully beg to differ or whatever, have different opinions, different thoughts, and that's how we grow. So that's our solar plexus. It is bright yellow. Yellow is the color of healing. It is also connected with our positive mind. Then we have our heart. Our heart. Now, our heart, some people say the heart is pink and green. The heart has with the three chambers. So we have pink, green, and blue, light blue, with our heart. Our heart simply represents unconditional love. First, we've got to get to the understanding, what is my definition of unconditional love? Not the dictionary. Because even sometimes I share, even my book, I might be saying something out of term, but sometimes I share with people, put the book down. Put the book down so that you can come into your own original thought and not be regurgitating, thoughts of others. Because sometimes I love to read, but sometimes I have to say, I got to put that book down, because once a lot of our thought, is it our thought? Because our thought, what we believe, is our truth. So, but is it my truth or is it that author's truth? And we've got to be able to discern. Some beliefs, that we work on. Some that I know that, like Don Miguel and Jose Ruiz, that fifth agreement. It's like those rascals spoke with me in that book. A lot of what they said, I believe it, but I recognize that's the belief I got from them. My original belief is something else. Just like Ho'oponopono. I love that because it confirms, but I can separate, okay, yep, I can separate that belief from my original. And that's so important, because that's how we get to share, get to learn the journey. I mean, the journey of who we are, of who Namsa Clara is, who Dr. Burgett is, who Jackie is, Epsy, who we are. Mar, hey Mar. That's how we get to understand who we are, by taking that and really tapping into ourselves, tapping into our universe. The heart is the unconditional love. Like I said, first you got to define what that unconditional love is for you. You know what I mean? And then work at that. When it is weakened, and that's also the neutral body that neutralizes our higher chakras from our lower chakras, if you will, as far as depth, if you will. This chakra, when it's weakened, grief, bitterness, unforgiveness. When we know, if we're having issues, there's issue, like I mentioned earlier, there's issue in the tissue. And my thing is, if you want to remove the issue in the tissue, you got to put the well in the cell. And in order to put the well in the cell, you got to go so deep, because with every single issue that we have, it is emotional. It's emotional. It's not feeling, because feeling is connected with spirit. Emotion is connected with our human nature. So when we, and that's an easy way to look at it too. And you know, so if I know that it's all emotional, that's easy for me. I don't have to do no analyzing. Let me go see. I got to get a. Let me go get this degree. Let me go get this. Let me. It's easy peasy, nice and breezy. That's the journey. That's the journey. So when that's weakened, yeah, we need to check. Okay, what am I really Am I really? Did I really forgive? And not necessarily the other person. Did I forgive me? Did I forgive me? Because, like I said, every person that comes into our lives is a mirror to say, hey, this is just something you need to work on. Okay, if you need to work on forgiveness, work on it. I mean, at least have the choice and say, look, I don't choose to work on forgiveness. You know, sometimes people say, stay positive, stay positive, stay positive. And I say, well, I think that's the um, uh kind of not a realistic way to be, because again, the universe is balanced. So yeah, if I'm gonna have my ups, yeah, I'm gonna have my downs. Sometimes I do feel down and say, no, I want to stay here. I don't want to convince myself to be positive, because there's something I need to look here. I need to look at this and swallow this pill so I can move past it. I don't want this lesson to keep coming at me. And if I keep saying I'm positive, 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 that lesson going to keep coming because I've not dealt with it. Then we have, like you said, and I'm still Clara, your throat. That's our blueprint. That's how we came here to express the attributes of the creator. Earlier I had mentioned that we came here to recognize that we are pure energy first and foremost. We are pure energy. That's that perfection within our imperfection. And we came here to express the attributes of the creator, however you want to name it. And we come here to express the attributes of the creator by the natural talents, our spiritual fruit, that natural talent that's inside the center of our heart. Most of the times that we're it's something that we're afraid to do, and we do it so well. It just comes so naturally. We think, oh, it can't be what I'm supposed to do to serve others and myself. It can't be because it's too easy. And then it's that fear. Oh, I don't know what people will think about. I can't make no money. Oh, it's crazy, that kind of thing. But that's how we're here to express the attributes of the creator in serving self and others. That's our throat, and that's blue. And blue, blue is the color of spirit. It's the color of emotion, of ruah, the wind, the breath, the prana. That's our throat. So anytime when you're feeling doing doing this kind of thing, there's something you need to say to somebody, either somebody else outside of you or to yourself, a truth that you need to share with yourself. That's our throat chakra, and it's blue. And that is our physical body expression, our manner of expression. Then we have the brow, which is also called the third eye, and that is indigo, beautiful indigo, black and violet, black and purple. Black is the color of the universe. Ain't no this darkness. Okay, when I think of darkness, I think evil, bad, all that. Mm-mm. Out of darkness came light. Before anything, there was darkness. Darkness is the period of unfoldment, the period that we go through, which is beautiful. It's not evil. It's not bad. It's a necessity for our soul to move forward. The brow chakra is black, which represents the universe, the mystical, either mystic or mystical or mystery. How do I know her? Yes, I do know. It's also attached to our intuition, that knowing. I don't know how I know. You're one of those, how you go when you say, I don't know how I know. I just know. I don't know. And I'm just going with the flow. I trust that flow. That's our brow, our intuition, that third eye. When it's weak, we're confused. We're indecisive. It's all outdoors. And we can bring people in our lives who are decisive, non-committed, gaslighters, because and pray, because they're a lot of when so there are hunters, people that prey on our Achilles heel, and that's the chakra that we can bring those people, attract those people. Our seventh one is our crown. That's that, because, and then, like I said earlier, we're creating the aura inside of us, and it comes out like 6 feet or just spreads. And that color, whatever that's in there, that began with the thought, because the thought is the influence, the center of influence. That is the originator, the conductor of it all. The crown is our connector, the connector with the universe. I call it unipersonal energy, connected with the universe. And when that chakra is weakened, we really, I mean, we question our religious beliefs. We question, what do we believe in? Can I trust it? I don't. We really question. We question our connection with the universe. That's, and when it's strong, oh my gosh, that's when, I mean, the inspiration that comes to you is like, wow, and you didn't think of it. You say, oh my God, that's when you know you're connected. The other chakras that I was saying, there's Earth star, that's under our feet. And that's connected with our base, the Earth star, the part of the grounding. Then we have the Hara, which is connected with the sacral. That's part of that sacral, the ones that I was saying that's in between the major and the minor. So though that Hara, and that's right with the sacral. Then you have the causal. The causal is like a little bit up above the crown. Then you have the stellar gateway. That's way up there. I mean, that's where you talk about Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, whatever. All the divine educators, the consciousness of the divine educator. That's that one. You have the altar major in the back. That's that stored memory at that occipital ridge. When that starts, when you have issues with that, and I used to have issues with my occipital ridge, that pain back there. That's an indication. I don't want to. There's too much guilt back there. I don't want to. I don't want to think about that. I just want to move. I want to move forward. But then it's one of those things. No, you don't stay on it. You don't stay on it. You know what I mean? Because we move forward. But it's that thing that how do you know what your tomorrow is, and you don't know what your yesterday was? You gotta know, not to stay in it. You know what I mean? But just to know so we can move forward. But that's that part. That's the alter major. That alter major that's connected with our subconscious. That's connected with our soul. That little one that's inside of us. That's that alter major, and it holds every single memory, whether we're conscious, realize it or not. It holds every single memory and experience that we've had. Everything, every single thing. So those, and let me see, causal, Hara, the stellar gateway, Earth star, Alta major. Okay, yeah, and those are the ones that I say that's between the major and the minor. So those are the chakras. Uh-oh, can't hear you, sweet. Yeah.
Can you repeat the one at the top of the crown?
Yes,
Yes.
that's the crown chakra. Uh-huh. And then above that one, we have the causal. Wait, no, I'm sorry. The seat of the soul. The causal is like connected like near the solar plexus. My bad. Then you have the seat of the soul. And then way above that shoots out that energy is our stellar gateway.
So the gateway is the gateway to go to heaven. Like when you pray, you connect with you.
Connecting. Yeah, like meditation, prayer, contemplation. Because when I was taking my daughters for catechumen to become Catholic, and it wasn't because of the Catholic religion, it's just that I wanted my babies baptized. I didn't have a car. Right down the street was a Catholic church. It'd have been Baptist, Booth, whatever, they would have been baptized at that church. So when I was going through the instruction, the young lady, she was sharing with me, and I never forgot it. We were talking, and she said, yeah, Anita, she said, and she's the one who taught me. She said, yes, prayer is talking with the universe or God, however you want to say. That's talking with. She said, meditation is listening with the universe and God. She said, it's going to come a time where you elevate to contemplation. That means it's just all the time. You're always connected. We still can go over here to this time and meditate, because that's a beautiful thing. Do the asanas and the mudras and everything. The connection, that's a beautiful thing. Or we can go over here and talk with God, and that's a beautiful thing. She said it comes a time though that you just know 24/7, 365, that you know that you're connected. That's contemplation. She said that's when you're getting to that period that you don't, that's when you really know you're not separate from the universe, because it always is a connection. Always. I just love it.
Aha, now you've revealed a secret. Now I understand. Every time that I pray, if I face down, I always get the attack here and the back.
Okay.
And sometimes I have to scream and shout to be free.
Yeah, see, and
Now
yeah,
I know why. Now I know why. I no clue why. Also, wow. Oh,
and
that
it's
is
fun.
a whole lot to take in. Can we have part two?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I
We
love
did
it.
not cover every, Doctor. We just covered the two things basically, and the time is 2 o'clock. I think we should have a part two.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I was about to say, Cissy's, it is such a deep book, and it's something that you, like you said, it's a reference book, but it's something that's useful. And then that's the book that it's available on Amazon. It's something that it's something that useful for us on all of them. So yeah, if Dr. Anita's time allow, we'll schedule a follow up sometimes in the near future, definitely, perhaps in a week or two. But
Not
it's
in the near future, Dr. Bigot. We need to get on her diary, please. Honestly, we need to get on her diary because we need to tap into this. I'm really, really wanting. I've read her book yesterday, and I did meditation to actually unblock my throat because I felt that there's something that is blocking my throats. So I had to do that. And basically, we don't want to in the near future. We want to, can you please check your diary and let Dr. B get know before the audience get excited, like when is she coming back? Like let us know when we can do part two, because this is going to be part one. And for me, basically, I know that there are audience that are going through challenging times. And if you don't know what she knows, you can see when she speaks from within. You don't speak from like thinking about, you're very, very passionate about what you're talking about. And it does not just come from the outside, it's coming from within. And I think it's nice for the audience because even there are some Christians, they don't know how to connect with God. And like you were saying, you ask 50 women, what is your relationship with God? And they told you the same thing, and no one actually explained what is their relationship. And people needs to understand what it means. I didn't know all these things. And even though I'm saying I've been learning since 2016, what does it mean for me to actually say I'm a child of God? And then now you're coming here, I'm basically realizing I don't know anything, I'm still learning. So those are, yeah. And I think so those are the things that people needs to understand, because me, I was born and raised in Africa. I come from Africa and I come here and I go to church. People believe that actually the battles somebody else has to fight your own battles. They don't know how to connect themselves with the universe, with God, and they don't know. And that's why there are so many problems. People with depression and
Yes.
people getting stressed and so many things. So that is the lack of knowledge. So
Yes.
if you can please with Dr. Bigot, Dr. Anita, arrange a time where we can actually basically carry on with this conversation, because I need to know. I want to tap into that high power. I want to be able to connect with God, and I want to be able to be the one, and basically just for Him to show me who I could be. And those are the things that you are explaining. And if you say, okay, I believe in this, some people don't believe in Christianity, but they believe in all these energy, but they haven't got a knowledge on how to actually tap into whoever they believe in and be who they want to be. And there are loads of Christians who haven't got a clue. What does it mean? We just believe that we just read something, and then, because like when I read your book, and I've been basically working out the kind of energy, and I've been working out what is this. I even basically, was it Saturday, I actually was in the graveyard. I passed through the graveyard. I don't know if anyone who is in the UK, we went to Suraya, one of her home retreat. So I passed through that graveyard, and when I was sitting, I basically, because reading your book yesterday, I realized that actually what I was feeling, it was, I had to recognize the energy. I was like, that is the energy of human blood sacrifice. And I was able to actually recognize it, and I was like, this is so sad. And I was like, and I could feel like this is not right. So I had to pray about it. So we need to tap into this. Tap
Absolutely.
into this. I wanted to find out about the body, human's ability, and tapping into power within. I did not get through to answer those questions. Why else did I wanted to the 11th embodiment of oneness? I wanted to
Yeah.
find out all these things, and
Embodiment.
the roots. I wanted to find
Uh
out the
oh.
best
Uh
outcomes as
oh.
well.
Let's see. I can't hear you.
So there's
Can't
so
hear you,
many things
beautiful.
that I have, Dr. Anita. So please, what does
Okay.
Jackie say? What does Jackie say? She's like,
I
listen
know that's
carefully.
Jackie. Bless your heart. Thank you. She said, get the book. Thank you, Jackie. Bless your. You know I love you, beautiful. That's my sister there, Jackie Hunter. Yes,
Oh
ma'am.
yes,
And I
yes,
see
yes, please.
Mars on there. Hey, Mar. Global Networking G100. Hey. This is so cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's MC. One thing about the U2 and sharing information about the chakras. Amain, and you mentioned that depression. A large part of this is because of the suicide rate.
Yep,
And most reasons for suicide is depression.
yep,
Depression comes when we feel we're alone. And I can, this tears me up all the time because it breaks my heart to think of a person feeling so helpless and so alone that they would rather leave out of here, when the truth of it is we are never alone. God is always with us because the essence and presence and power and love of God is within us. And once we embrace that, I mean, really, without question, know that, hey, I know, Father, Mother, God, universe, however you want to, whatever your term, when we get to that point saying, I know I'm not alone, I believe from the very center of my heart, that's going to reduce suicide rate. That's going to
yep,
reduce global depression. I really believe that because we were taught the outside, that essence is outside and we feel alone.
yep. I read to someone on Facebook. They put, I'm in a relationship, but I feel so alone.
See, and God, I mean, the power, presence, and essence of God is in right in our hearts. All we got to do is tap into it. Believe, believe. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's a little
And
bit
I'm learning,
journey.
Dr. Anita. Dr. Anita, I'm going to tap into, I'm never alone. I'm going to tap into that power and I'm going to embrace it and I'm going to be grateful. And I'm never going to feel alone. No human flesh can satisfy me. So I'm just going to, every time I feel so alone, I'm going to just tap my head and say, no, you're never alone.
No, that's right. We're never alone. Never, never. I love you all. Oh, I just love you. So yeah,
That is I love that. That is so beautiful, and that is very true. That I, being a grief transformation coach, I work with a lot of people who are grieving, and the number one thing is everybody feels so alone, which is
yeah,
understandable when things happening. But like you said,
right.
you just realize that you you will not be here if you're not connected to,
That's
whether you want
right.
to call it God, whether you want to call it energy, spirit, it's you know, Allah or whatever you put a name on it, but
Mhm.
you're not alone. There's some things out here, and that is so beautiful, Dr. Anita. Thank you
It
so
is.
much. We
You
love
are so.
this education
Oh,
part. We'll
you're
skip.
welcome. I always say there's one energy, one love. And if there's one God and we're all connected with God, doesn't that mean we're connected with each other? So that too, we can't be alone because we're connected with not only with God, we're connected with each other.
I trust that we are connected to each other because we are never alone. And for me, basically, it's taken me a long time to understand that. And I'm glad that you are here to testify and say, no, sir, know that you are not alone. So I believe that I'm never alone. So thank you so much. So Dr. Anita, any words of encouragement before we leave, and Dr. Biker as well, share your words of encouragement. For me, basically, my words of encouragement is for Dr. Anita to know that we want her back. I didn't get enough of this, so I need more, and our audience need more. If I'm still feeling like I need, there's something that needs to be filled up, so that means the audience are feeling the same.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
my word of encouragement would be, as you, if you're listening to this and you feel alone, like we just said, you are not alone. And between, I would go out there and get the book. So when we're back on it very shortly, then you have your questions, because as you already see, this is a book that will change your life if you allow
Oh,
it. And
oh,
so my words of encouragement, it's available on Amazon, and go get the book and look at it and see how it will empower your life too.
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, your own universe, or you just type in your own universe comes right up. And that's the one, if you want one volume, and that's mainly for, like out of the country, outside of USA. If you want the two with the journal and the reference separate, you can go to anitacpowell.org. It's on my website, but that's within the United States, unfortunately, not able to ship outside. But the book is available both ways. I just want to say, you know what? You're beautiful. I mean, each and every one of you, you're beautiful. And within your humanness, yes, yes, there's divine. And within your perky, beautiful, lovely, creative imperfection, there is perfection. And all we gotta do is simply tap into it. That's all. That's all. And you're here for a purpose. There's no one that's not here, not for a reason. You're unique. You came here to express the attributes of the creator. We need you. We love you. And I adore you. I honor each and every one of you. Thank you. Oh, now to Clara and Dr. Bridget. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. You guys, thank you. Thank you for joining in and everything. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you, FC. Yes, we're all amazing women. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Anita, and our social media family and YouTube subscribers. We're going to have the link for the book and her website at the bottom of the video. So please do check out after you finish watching the video. Please go to the link and get yourself a copy. She's going to put both the links, whether for general or the way she explained it. So please just get the book. And if you want to connect, if they want to connect you with you, Dr. Anita, where can they find you?
Absolutely. Facebook, you can just type in DRANITA. And I think Dr. Anita Caprice will come up. And then my my email, my Gmail, I should say, is tap into you. So that's TAP, the letter N, the number 2, and then YOU@gmail.com. And I just want to say that 15% of every of the proceeds of this book sale is going toward my family and I. We are raising funds to build a school in Burkina Faso, Africa. So 15% of all proceeds are going toward the school. So just want to thank you. So yeah, that's tapintoyou@gmail.com. And then Facebook, because I'm a Facebook, right? I'm always on Facebook. So Facebook is just Dr. Anita Caprice, Caprice. And if you want to call me, I'm still old school. So if you want to call me, it's 313-605-8220. Because I'd love to hear your voice, and I'd love to share some dialogue with you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Anita. So I'm going to leave it to Dr. Biggett. Dr. Anita, please send your phone number, your email address, or however you want the audience to get in touch with you, your message, send it to Dr. Biggett. Everything will link to the video on Facebook and YouTube, so they can people can get in touch with you. I'll put it to the main Gossip Talk shows and YouTube channel. So when people are clicking, they can scroll down and get in touch with you. And thank you so much for being here today. And please check on your diary, please.
Okay.
Dr. Biggett said in the future, but I want you now in this present moment to check on your diary and give us your time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
And
much.
live with grace, everyone. Please get connected to Dr. Anita and Dr. Biggett. We are here at Ngozi Talk Shows. If you can't get hold of her, please come back to me. I'll connect you with her, or Dr. Biggett can connect you with her and tap into yourself. There's no point in living in regrets, pain, past. There's no point. Live with grace, everyone. See you tomorrow.